Hello. All right, well, we kind of just jumped into this one today. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome back to another weekly episode. Felix and I are here to kind of dive into the weekly post that we did yesterday and this week was your endeavors with the GT3 RS at ECR. But as usual, please make sure you guys like the stream, share it out with your buddies so we can get more people in. And as usual, we're not here to sell you anything. This is for our benefit to help the community to grow. Wouldn't you say that, Felix?
Yeah, I would absolutely say that. We're here to help. We're here to help you guys travel the road we've already been through, and hopefully with less headaches and maybe spending a little less money. Eventually, everyone's gonna.
I think if you were here for the last stream, you will know that saving money is probably not an option into this sport.
No, not at all.
Whether you're spending it on brakes, on tires, on alignments, it turns into a dumpster fire real quick. But let's just go ahead and get into the content for this week, Felix. Your GT3 RS versus Cup car. Is it dangerously fast? So why don't we start off with ECR, right? We went to ECR, 2 weeks ago?
2 weekends ago, yeah.
2 weekends ago, had a great time. Scary track to drive, but you're going full send in a GT3 RS. So tell me a little bit about ECR for those people who are watching who probably haven't been.
So for those of you who haven't been to ECR is what, I wrote it down perfectly. It's a track that when you look at a map, it looks super simple. Once you're on track there, you kind of get it, why everybody loves it. The track has a lot of elevation. On paper, it looks like it's the same corner 10 times. One of them has a little bit of off camber, one of them's downhill. The other one's actually like a rolling sweeper. 13 looks the same on the map as 15 kind of, but it's got a huge downhill, super technical. Like you have to drive the car so differently. So on paper, the track looks pretty simple, but it's a track we go to when we want to work on driver development. And the reason for that is, like I said, at ECR, there's no runoff. If we pull up a track map of COTA, you see all these painted surfaces. Like when we're pushing at COTA, we know that any little wiggle or any little upset of the car, and there's room to escape something reckless from happening. ECR, you're going off. And Jorge, we shared Doug's, one of Doug's off-road excursions for the weekend.
To be fair, he was racing, so it's I guess a little bit different of a mindset.
Of course.
A little bit of different dynamic, but like Felix was saying, ECR, if you haven't been to ECR, you're missing out on a lot of coolness. Because like you said, COTA is great because of the name, right? COTA has like, F1
bucket list.
comes, it's like a bucket list track. But compared to ECR, I think ECR is just more fun. I mean, even for when I have instructors in the right seat, Ryan had a really hard time keeping up with the instruction. We would go through a corner, and then, usually at COTA, we'll go through the corner, he'll say what I did right, or he won't say anything at all if we're just going for it. Tell me what I did wrong, but at ECR, we have to recap the whole session after the fact. So it's a lot of fun. So, all right, now that we got ECR out of the way, this is your first time driving the GT3 RS at COTA. So you're used to driving the orange car, the 4RS. Differences, what did you feel? Obviously, I can probably guess you were hooked up everywhere. Way more everywhere. But talk to me about that development going from a Cayman to a 911 at this track.
So before we get into that, we're gonna say there wasn't any debris on the track, Simon, because you weren't there. Because if you would have been there would have been mufflers and all sorts of crap on the road. But yeah, so honestly, lately I've been driving our mid-engine Cayman GT4 RS on track, and it's an absolute handful at that track. A car that I seem to have like decent balance with at COTA, and you get to ECR and the surface is a little bit different. I mentioned this in the video too. The TJ explains it perfectly. I don't remember, but I think the surface or the aggregate has limestone or it has some sort of rock or whatever that doesn't give you high grip. So, and you can see it in most of our brake traces where you can't give it like that 10 pedal that you give it at Coda because the car just can't take it. Or if you're like on a 200, the car will trip the tire immediately. And yeah, you've been there.
Ask me how I know.
The king of the chirps over here.
I mean, it was worse at Barber than it is at ECR, but maybe it's because I was more scared at Barber. But continue, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a track I honestly like a lot. I've done some pretty spicy laps in, I guess, in previous times with our 991.1 GT3 RS. So it's not like I entered blind to this one.
As different cars completely,
yeah, completely different cars, but both 911s, rear engine, both have rear steer.
Okay, yeah.
This new car is just kind of like better everywhere. So the hard part about it is one thing, I don't know if I'd ever been to ECR, like I don't think I've ever had confidence in ECR while running a sticky tire. And for that weekend, we had the green car on Hankook F200s. I think it's like the C54 24 compound. It's a medium compound Hankook. And one thing, it seems like sticky rubber, and street tires don't work well, but the sticky rubber or anything that's competition rated, I'm just gonna call it, it doesn't work well with all the marbles that ECR always has. So you go out on your first lap, and when you need to push these tires so hard that you need to peel off that first layer or that layer of used rubber, and it's just hard. Like I struggled with this all weekend in the 4RS. Last time I was there in the 4RS, which was last November, I think, with sticky rubber, I struggled with that as well. So the 3RS, when I was driving it the first few laps, like I was pushing it pretty hard, but I was still like, this car feels like kind of like garbage. I'm just gonna say it, because every time I turned, the car kind of felt like it had some rollover, and then I would turn to the next side, have more rollover. So I think that's something that I need to get more and more used to pushing through. It's just hard because it kind of tells you, when you have like a vibration coming through the steering wheel and when you're turning, it just gives you zero confidence. But eventually, lap 2, lap 3, it went away on the 3RS. And that's when I really started feeding it the juice. For that first session, we were straight under the 2-minute mark. Then the next session, I got another second. Next session, I got another second. And then I ended up in the mid 56s. And for ECR, I think there's more left in there. That's the honest truth. But for a 90-degree day and how the track felt with all the marbles could have also come from the racers, right? Because the racers most of them are all on brand new rubber that's super sticky, super plush, literally like rubber that's ready to just peel off, right? And then we come over with these tires that are track tires like, I don't know, like lint tires that track more tire like lint rollers or something like that. It's honestly super crazy. But yeah, I just started pushing the car a bit more and more, and you're right, like the car has way more slow speed grip, and then a high speed like through 6 and 7, the first sweeper. Or the
first sweeper after the downhill, uphill.
I don't really count the left sweeper as having aero, because I think that's when you start getting like the under the 80 mile per hour mark.
Yeah, I saw you were like, by the time you got to 7, you were already doing like 100.
Oh wow,
over 100.
I thought I was going slower than that.
No, you were halting. I mean, we can pull it up. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping, but I thought you were like getting up to like 100.
Yeah, we'll pull it up in a little bit. But I always feel like at the end of 7 or through 7, you end up losing a lot of downforce. At least like the downforce doesn't work there. So for me, I never got to the point of where I really felt like I pushed it through 6, the right-hander. Like I always felt there was more there.
Talk about that big sweeping turn.
Yeah. I always felt there was more there, but I obviously my laps in that car were gonna be counted, so I kind of had to make them count. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't want to get too far out of my limits or of my comfort zone, because going off there looks simple and looks like it's not gonna hurt at all.
man.
But what we've learned is it's caused some extreme
We've
bumper
lost a
damage.
whole bumper there before.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not the whole bumper, but the lip. You had to replace the whole bumper.
I had to replace the whole bumper, because it cracked part of the bumper cover, and that was very expensive.
And the cool thing was that John was like, no, you got to get back out there again. I'm not talking about me, but John was like, you got to get back out there again. Get back on the horse. We haven't seen him since.
You haven't seen him since. I'm going to...
But
Brian, I know you're not watching, but I'm trying to get him back in a car at Code. I think he's just been super busy with work.
Yeah, he's been pretty busy.
ECR is... Like Doug, I was on the phone with him yesterday, and he had that off at 13. He had, was it 2 offs in 13? So he obviously got hit.
He had 2 offs at 13. One where he went deep into the field. You guys didn't see that one. And the second one that was in the actual video from yesterday, he went off, touched the grass, spun the car around, and ended up just backing into the corner.
Yeah, so minus the wheel, or I'm just going to include it with the wheel, because the second day he got hit, right?
Yeah.
Just that
that
week.
all happened the same weekend.
Yeah, that'll happen the same weekend.
The same day.
Yeah, the same day. The off-road excursion plus someone
Not kind of.
someone hitting his rear right corner and wheel ended up causing him like $10,000 worth of damage.
The cost of racing.
Cost of racing,
dude.
yeah.
And we thought that tracking is expensive. But maybe we should just have a sit down with Doug and be like, dude, how much money have you spent on racing your car? Because maybe some of you guys out there want to race. It looks exciting, but turn 1, lap 1, after the green flag, he got hit, spun, and then he was just sitting in the grass because the car wouldn't cut on.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Leave it down in the comments. Like the video if you guys want to see some content about racing, because Doug is getting into that venture, and I think it'd be pretty interesting to follow his trajectory or his path so far.
His path racing, yeah.
So, all right. So, I mean, I think I personally have I love ECR, but the tire clag there is a huge, huge problem. Like, especially for novices, where you guys are telling me like, dude, you got to push the car more. If you want to get that tire clag off, you got to push the car more. And I'm just like, how much more do you want me to push it without spinning it out? So you were getting a lot of that pickup, and that was with the Contis that I had on that weekend, right?
As well, yeah.
I had Contis
well,
that
yeah.
weekend. So it
might be across the board.
It might be an issue that everybody experiences. So I mean, with the GT3 RS, how are you managing that? Just trying to scrub the tires as much as possible on every turn?
Yeah, so I was just trying to maximize grip on the car, and when I go out on a tire like that, I do try to like push the car, or like you'll see me going through a corner with this much steering wheel, and I'll do this, and like the car goes the same place.
Yeah.
I'll do this, so I like to like scrub the wheel, and I think like a wheel going this way and the tire and the track's that way, it'll kind of shave the tire, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do everything I can, but like the green car is just insane. So you just push and you get more, and you push and you get more. Yeah. Then eventually, like you don't feel any more of that. So
Dude,
you're like,
that
I'm
thing
ready.
had me freaked out. So I know typically the folks who watch the live have been to ECR, but for those of you who may be watching this after the fact, this is something that ECR just needs to fix. ECR just needs to fix this. I don't, because Coda does sweeps like every morning.
I think so.
Every morning you see the trucks go out there, do a sweep. At ECR, the people on track are the people sweeping.
Yeah, and Jeff Comenda just confirmed that ECR is granite.
Oh, shout out to Jeff. Welcome to the
Welcome,
live
Jeff.
show.
Yeah, so ECR is granite, and then ECR, I think it also has a problem where like when it rains, water actually can't pass through the surface because it gets clogged up by the dirt. Obviously, it's like in the middle of the field. Plus, they have the off-road track now, so that's not. It's like a compounding issue at ECR that maybe they don't care about because we keep on going.
well, I guess there's a few things they could fix, right? No, the not fire extinguisher issue. We're not going to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on stick, you're rubber. You're scrubbing the tires almost as often as possible to clear off all the clag from the tires. I guess let's start off with what prompted you to pursue this insane lap time. What prompted you to want to do that?
Honestly, the reason that the green car.
Because this is gonna lead to a question at the end of the video. So just stick around. There's a question there.
Honestly, I said it on the video. The reason I put those wheels and tires is because I had those wheels laying around at the shop with brand new Hancocks on them, but they were meant for GT3. I threw them on the green car, and I was like, everything's good. The offsets were wonky. Like, I think the wheels sit like 1.5 inches or 2 inches in. I mean, you saw it. You took pictures of it. Yeah, the wheels kind of sit a little bit inboard, but there was no rubbing, so I was like, we're sending it. So I literally just wanted John to go out there, have a good time. I think last time John was out there, he was probably on street tires because we couldn't put 19s on the car. Or I don't know the reason.
Yeah.
But for the previous generation of cars, the 991.2, we were always on Hoosiers. So I didn't have Hoosiers at the shop. I had those Hancocks, and I'm like, John, you're on slicks for this weekend. And then, well, we all know what happened during lunch, how John had that oopsie, and then he ended up not driving for the rest of the weekend. And I was like, John, can I do some laps? Well, lunch, and then did we see qualifying and then lunch? Or
Something like that.
Yes.
So this wasn't just an ordinary track day weekend. It was a club race alongside of a track day. So the format is pretty simple. There's 2 advanced run groups. Mm-hmm. And then after those 2 run groups, there's like a practice session, a qualifying session, and then a racing session, something like that, right? So you guys get your sessions done, and then there's a qualifying session, and then somebody gets a little itchy, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so I start looking at the numbers, and I think, like I said, the club sports, 4 RS club sports were in, I think, 48s. And then the cup cars were 47s, 46s. And I was like, I was like, I think we can match that in the green car. So that's when I decided to let's put this car to the test. And I mean, the Hancocks were by no means pristine. They're the 3rd heat cycle. Technically, like in a race, you would not run them, but obviously they're medium compound, so they're gonna survive. So yeah, that first session that I drove the car, where I was kind of getting used to it, I did a 156 in the car, which was 2 par to a 992 GT3 Cup.
Okay.
And then so the car's no longer qualified for the rest of the weekend, right? Because the way it works with the PCA group is they qualify once, and then every race they're qualifying for the next one, meaning that they have to like post a flyer in the middle of their race, and that sets the lineup. Yeah, that sets the lineup for the next race. So since they're racing, going through the traffic, the lap times weren't.
Yeah, so they only had one opportunity to really send a flyer, without too much traffic, versus being in the mix with the boxers and the other cars.
Yeah, and technically
they could have gotten faster,
probably,
maybe, but they didn't.
But they didn't, yeah. So come day 2, I always do a mental debrief to know. If you guys want to know how I debrief, we have a video coming. But I did a mental debrief. I knew places where I could find more lap time. Was it 3 seconds? No. Was it a sec? I was hoping literally for a second, and we found just a little bit under a second, and I was stoked. We got into the 155s, and I don't think a single car touched the 55 that weekend. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I think there was another gentleman out there with with the olive green or the green GT3.
GT3 RS. I think his is British Racing Green. Don't say olive.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, British Racing Green GT3 RS. 1-800. How's my driving?
Yeah. Sweet car.
It's a cool car.
Did you speak to him?
I spoke to him.
And what was he running in that car?
I think he's running high 50s. Yeah, he's running high 50s on that car on street rubber.
So that car
really
is capable of just naturally running a sub 2-minute lap at ECR.
As is with an alignment. Yeah.
With an alignment.
With an alignment.
Because somebody asked, somebody commented on the YouTube short, like, what was your racing setup for this? And it was like, it's not a racing setup. It's just an alignment, sticky rubber, cage harness, and that was it.
Yeah, we do an exhaust just to make the car sound cool. Maybe it makes a little bit more power because it's got headers and all that stuff.
Trust me, when John pulls that bad boy out on the street, people know John is on the track.
Yeah, that car is crazy loud. But in a track like that, maybe the extra 15 or whatever horsepower really doesn't make a difference. Maybe it does, right, coming out of corners. But factory, that car with an alignment and the OEM tires, I don't think it's definitely a sub-2 car.
So you have to get some sticky rubber and put an alignment on it to meet that, to break the 2-minute barrier.
To break the 2-minute barrier, all you need is an alignment. I feel, yeah, in that car, because the car's so good. Yeah. So us with sticky rubber, it makes sense that I think the guy said he's been like in the 58s or, yeah, I think he said 58s. So yeah, 2 more seconds for sticky rubber. I think that's okay.
Do you know what tires he was running?
I think he was on the Goodyears. Yeah, the Goodyears are really good.
Okay. Oh, those were the tires that we were running all summer trip on the white car, right? Oh, those tires are really
Those tires are good.
I mean, that car is just insanely good as it is.
It is.
Watch the video of me basically crapping on that car, but I love that car so much.
Yeah, it's a cool car.
It's a lot of, so I guess some people would say that the GT3 RS is probably a lot of car for that track. And we've made a video about this in the past where we've spoken about momentum cars and the cars for which track. I mean, having driven the GT3 RS is just a powerhouse of a car. Having driven that now at ECR, has your perspective changed at all? Like, what do you think about that so far?
I totally get people when they say, like, this track is a momentum track. Brother, if I pull up in a 2RS with sticky rubber, you're still toast. You know what I mean? And we proved it at Barber. Barber, I think, is going to be like of the same flow, I think, as ECR, right? It doesn't have the 160 mile an hour straights or 150 mile an hour straights.
I would say it's similar. I would say that it's similar because it has like the little corkscrewy type section at ECR. They have a section like that at Barber. A lot of there's like 2 big sweeping turns at Barber. There's 2 big sweeping turns at ECR. A little bit different because one of them is downhill, the other one's uphill. So I mean, there's some similarities there for sure. Yeah.
So what I'm getting to at that track is that it's similar to ECR. Honestly, I wish we would still have the 2RS in rotation because I would take that thing in a heartbeat on sticky rubber with the wing to freaking ECR. Like, I would just love to run that car there to misprove all those who say it's a momentum track. Because I'm pretty sure I'll eat up a 3S. But let me get to my point.
Go get to it. So I'm going to hit you with something else.
We went to Barber, right, that I said is a similar caliber or style as ECR. And we took our 2RS, and it was on like a mixed set of tires. Literally, like the front tires had like 30 sessions on them. The rears had like 5. I don't know how we ended that way. But we ended up with that, and it was the last leg of the summer trip, so we were just making it work. It's a lap time that I haven't even come close to that I did in the 2RS in the summer, right? I think I did like a 128, and then my best in the GT4 RS on sticky rubber was like a 132. Like a 3-4 second gap, and you're like, no, but this is the wrong car for Barber. No. Like the amount of like dig out of the corners is if you have the right rubber to lay it down, is significant. So the 2RS would be like should be like a mid to low 50s car at ECR.
Well, hold on.
Easy.
All right. So
anyways, we're skipping around. But
I was gonna bring something else up, but I gotta ask you now, right? Because when we did the comparison between the GT2 RS and the GT3 RS, it kind of turned out to be a little bit of a wash.
Yeah.
So, having driven the GT3 RS at ECR now, and setting a 55.9, what would the difference be? Because you're losing out on aero because it doesn't come with as much aero. So what?
Yeah, but I don't know if I've like fully exploited aero on the green car yet. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm still not like really sending it.
But on the GT2, you'd be losing the aero.
Why?
Well, you don't have as much aero. The aero package on the GT2 RS is different than the GT3.
Yeah, it's not that great, but we had a ton of rake in the car and we had a ton of rear wing in it. So like.
So you think that you balanced it out with setup?
I think so. I think so. I think.
So then why wasn't it better? Why wasn't it better at Coda?
So the reason it wasn't
Come
better
on.
at Coda is we have this video, and honestly, we were going through the data and we're pulling them up, and we're like, okay, so the back straight, let's see what they both run, and they were both like the same mile an hour, and I'm like, shit. But we were on. One of them was on AIM, one of them was on V-Box, and then I think.
Brother, what that got to do with anything?
Hold on. Well, the 2RS had ran out of what do you call it? The 2RS was on us. I think it was like a June date. And it had no water. Simon, if you know how much mile an hour you lose before running out of water and after running out of water, leave it down below. And I hope you don't say it doesn't change because Simon's been driving a 2RS, but what I felt is the car kind of just derated because we had no water in it for the full session or whatever.
I mean,
but
I think the only way to really answer this
is to do it.
Is to get another GT3 RS.
We can get, I got the green light from John. We can get another 2RS.
Wild. Okay, all right, so back to the topic because we kind of derailed it a little bit. So one of the things that we brought up in the video, well, maybe you in particular brought this up, is the safety aspect of all of this. Mm-hmm. Now you're talking about running a similar lap time in a car with what, almost 200 horsepower more?
Which one?
The GT2 RS?
Yes.
It has about 200 horsepower more.
Maybe 150, 60,
Something
whatever.
like
Yeah,
that.
200.
Within that range. With the same setup, basically. Half cage harness. Mm-hmm. And when we discussed this with the GT3 RS, you're like, maybe we should be in a full cage. So connect those dots for me, man, because you're sending it more and more. Maybe somebody like me doesn't need to have a full cage in it, because I'm not dancing with the limit like you are. So piece that logic together for me.
Honestly, so after making this video, I feel better about the conversation because I've had a couple friends reach out, and yes, we're only putting half cages in the cars, but we're keeping the stock seats. So technically, like, every airbag in the car would still work as the car was designed. Okay. Yes, we're not gonna have like the leaning forward of the body to like actually absorb, but we're kind of fixed to the back of the car, and the airbags are kind of still gonna do its thing. So we shouldn't, our headlights shouldn't come outside of the car, but I've still been of the opinion that we're definitely doing too much with too little. I had a couple friends reach out and they were like, dude, if you've looked at big wrecks that these cars have had, I mean, people usually walk away from them, right? Like, I think there was a big wreck for a 3RS in the Nürburgring. I think BMW like cut him off, and the car looks like it's everywhere, just scattered. Yeah. And the guy walks away from it, right? Because he had harnesses. I think he had like the factory half cage. He had harnesses, he had a Hans device, and he walked away from it. A friend of mine even went to the extreme and said, like, maybe like at a track like Coda, he said, even if you tried, you couldn't kill yourself. And I'm like, let me go 160 on the back and keep my foot in it. Yeah. But
you're eating the steering wheel for sure.
You're eating the steering wheel for sure. Yeah, it's a tough situation, no doubt. Then again, I have seen these cars flip. Houston had a 991, I don't know if that 1.2 white GT3 that flipped, that had a cage in it. Mm-hmm. And you could actually tell where like the bar put an indentation on the roof. So it will do something. Yeah, so I mean, it's not like you're gonna get like crushed in it, right? But there's, I guess, for those of us who may not be completely aware of what the full cage provides, like what else would we be getting out of putting a full cage in it? Because I know the half cage stops right behind the seat, and then a full cage extends past the front of the seat and then goes down into the chassis of the car. So what do we get out of that? I mean, what we get, so for the cage, because we're gonna have bars that go around us and bars that go in front of us. Simon, that's funny. Water's not my issue. It's my chicken foot. Because remember we looked at his data where he's on the throttle and he starts chopping out of it. Yeah.
Don't do that. I mean, I'm kidding.
Don't do that, Simon. Oh, shit.
Coming from me, I'd be chicken for that thing too,
Simon's
Simon.
like-
So don't feel bad.
Simon's like, my car takes water.
I haven't even
I've been
noticed.
driving it for 2 years. Jesus, I'm sorry, Simon. Anyways, so a full cage, what it's gonna get you bars that go here, bars that go around your legs, and then obviously a bar that finishes the hoop, and then down bars through the pillars. So what all that's protecting you is obviously from a front impact, from a side impact as well, which I feel like if you're going racing, you definitely need that, right? Because, I mean, in a race, a small little bump, you could go spinning, and then next thing you know, there's a barrier just standing there, and you fucking,
Yeah.
right? You end up being chopped in half. But since we're not racing, I guess most of the impacts would either happen with the tail or maybe straight ahead. I don't know.
I don't know because we've had a friend who, through the stadium section, he spun it and then made contact with the wall, almost purely on the side.
Yeah, and he was completely
And
fine.
he was completely fine.
completely
He was
fine.
completely fine.
He had a Hans device and half cage.
I mean, I guess a part of me just worries about it a little bit, especially
For
for
sure.
people like you. I think for us normies, us normal people who aren't trying to find every last tenth out of the car, I think a half cage is adequate enough. I wouldn't say put a, what is it, those little harness bars?
yeah, just one bar
Skip
with no
that
hoop.
entirely. You might as well just use your 3-point seatbelt at that point. But I think with the half cage, you're fine. But people like you, people like TJ, people who are actually going racing, who are constantly finding the edge and dancing on it. It's like, to me, it's like when those, what is it, those trapeze artists that are walking on that thin line
Yeah.
and they're just jumping and bouncing and doing all that crazy stuff and they have a net. You're doing that in a car everywhere. So to me, in my brain, I'm like, dude, at least put a cage in the orange car.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to put a cage in the orange car. But the reason we don't do stuff like that is because the down bars,
You have to like cut holes and stuff into
yeah, so we would have to get into the floors, which would be okay, right? We could do like a sandwich plate, meaning we put a bar that goes around, comes down, ideally goes around the dash and then into the floor, right? Because then, like on our new cars, I don't want
to
to.
gutting it then at that point.
Huh?
Right? You'd be gutting the car.
Well, no. So there's actually cage manufacturers that have a bend going around the stock dash and then straight down. Then you do, I mean, easy. Four holes, 4 bolts. You put a plate on the bottom as a sandwich plate. That way it holds onto the chassis.
Yeah.
Because the chassis is aluminum and you can't weld metal to aluminum. So it has to be attached that way. I think there's other methods of bonding, but that's the easiest one. So the reason we don't do that, obviously, is because our cars will eventually be put back to stock, and now the car will have holes in the chassis. Another reason, it's kind of like do it right or don't half-ass it. Because if you do those bars that go up, and then they come down, and then they have this little S to go around the dash, and
It's a
they
weak
go
point
down.
there.
It's a weak point, right? So you're gaining, but is it just gonna become something that ends up crushing you in the freaking
Yeah.
in the chest? Because
I see what you
certain
mean.
bars only should have certain amount of bends for them to pass like what are the specs that they use for drag racing? Sometimes they say like this one can only have 3 bends, this one can have 2 bends.
Yeah.
Because they're used to seeing cars roll over. So imagine putting a bar with 10 bends in it. Is it really structurally safe?
Yeah, I mean,
Commend.
yeah, I was just about to bring that up. I mean, because that's another thing you brought up in the video, right? Is do you take your, 4RS, 3RS, whatever, because there's a racing equivalent to both,
Yeah.
or do you just skip all the street car stuff and then just go straight into a race car? So why haven't we gone into a race car, at least for people like you on the team?
Yeah, honestly,
I think it would be cool for everybody, but
honestly, the itch is real. With Doug's race, and then I just came back from seeing TJ at Coda for the PSSA race, and they have a series as well for GT cars. I'm like, we could track day this car and also race it. But then we also have someone touch Doug, and it costs $10,000.
I mean, all right, but let's
Step by step.
Let's break this down. Between
That is
let's
doing
just
it.
count. Let's just count me,
That is doing
you,
it right now, yeah.
Ryan, and Alvin. Right. Between us four alone, how much in damage have you had to fix? Well, not damage, but like in
Yeah.
parts.
In parts, yeah.
Would that number be the equivalent?
No, I don't think so. Nah, we would not even be close. I mean, Jorge likes to melt stuff, and then
Hey, blame that on TJ. Don't blame it on me. I'm following.
Jorge and
The
TJ.
instructor is the tower, and we follow all commands from the tower, brother.
I didn't even bring it. But TJ and Jorge melted off some sway bar end links that Matt ended up letting me borrow, and I just bought him a new set because they weren't in stock. So that's what they did, and then the exhaust
Don't blame
melted
it
the
on
body, and Cayman problems. But
Don't blame that on me. TJ, send the bill to TJ.
yeah, Alvin likes these curbs that are like this tall. He likes to just go straight across them. And then he also smacked the pothole in the yellow car, no? Didn't he have VAR? He did.
No, he smacked the pothole in the orange car.
Orange car too?
Yeah, he smacked the pothole in the orange car. Either way, okay. So, all right. I like what Mr. Commenda or Dr. Commenda's out here talking about, because that was going to be one of my other questions, right? At this point, what's stopping you from racing?
Nothing.
At this point, listen, I've been, put it in the chat, y'all. He's got this 216.
Whoever comments in the chat is gonna sponsor me.
Yeah, no. You got this 216.95. In a way, it's kind of unofficial.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've been trying to stir up ways to make it official, whether that's my time attack. Time attack is probably the lowest bar to
Yeah.
entry. But what's stopping you at this point? And to be fair, I'm pretty sure I overheard John say he's cool with you doing it.
Yeah, John's been
You.
cool. Yeah, John's definitely been cool with me trying to go racing or whatever. The honest truth is I'm not trying to be selfish and make Saga Motorsports about me going racing. So John and I just need to have another conversation. John's been in it for the past, he's been willing to do it through different series. So I think we may make it happen sooner. At least get a 4RS Club Sports, start tinkering with that. I know.
Hey, shout out to Jeff. He's got $1 already. So we've already got sponsorship going. Okay, we've got sponsorship going, and I don't even think we already kind of have people on the team who race. Mm-hmm. But they race under their own banners and flags, right? So, I mean, Doug has Tahoka Racing, and then TJ, he races under his business.
Income by Design.
Mm-hmm. So, listen, man, all these guys are out here thinking they're big stuff. Listen, I'd be out there cheerleading for my boy, okay?
I don't need to think I'm anything. I don't need to think I'm anything. But yeah, Doug's especially been pushing for us to get the same car that he has and then go compete. And then I'm like, Doug, you'll never see P1, buddy? Are you sure?
Well,
I'm giving him shit.
It's interesting though, right? Because now, take this with a huge grain of salt, because I've done is sim racing, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a huge difference between you just running laps.
Oh, for sure.
And then you having to deal with traffic, distance, there's a lot more that's involved in racing, in my opinion, just based off of the little bit that I've done on the sim and then seeing what happened over that weekend.
It's not that
you have to be worried about everybody around you. So Doug might have racecraft, a little bit more racecraft over you, which would probably make that race a little bit more interesting.
Oh, for sure. I think it'd make for a great time. And then, I mean, this happens anywhere, right? It happens in any series, even Formula One, right? The second one person gets faster. Like he tows the next person, right? Because it kind of just starts elevating the entire group.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I don't like about, or maybe that I don't see beneficial from the PCA racing, is it seems like the 4RS Club Sports have a small group. And it would be cool to be doing that with like 5 or 10 people instead of
Like the three or four
of them that were there.
I can see that.
But then again, I understand they want to keep it gentleman style racing, right? To where people aren't trying to write off cars, but then they're still touching. So
Listen, Simon wants to start a GoFundMe, so we're gonna get that started. But okay, so what if we go with like a Boxster?
a Boxster would be cool. A Boxster would be cool. It'd be super competitive.
And then imagine if you smoke dog in a Boxster, bro.
No, calm down. That's not even possible. That's not even possible. No, the Boxster series, so that would be super cool because low bar to entry.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think we're going to have to be tinkering with that car. I can ask around, but
Well, the Boxsters aside, right? There was also when you went out to drive the ¿cómo se llaman?
the SR Rushes.
The SR Rushes, that seems like it'd be a pretty cool little thing to start doing. But I don't know how available those races would be during like track days, right? Because I think that would be kind of the appeal with the Porsche stuff, would be to do it during a track day. This way, Jefe can go out there, run his laps,
Exactly.
and then we can sideline and watch you do your race. I think that would be more appealing, but I still think the SR is probably the lowest bar to entry when it comes to the actual car.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But it's a car we're going to have to, like, Jorge will be like, pass me this wrench, or we need to tighten up the chain, or we need to do this. We're going to have to be working on it all the time. And I think that's something that kind of John has strayed away since the start, because we literally arrive every weekend. And if I prep the cars right the week before or the couple weeks before with the right parts, with the right amount of brakes, we don't touch our cars. We just put fuel in them, check tires.
And I think that's kind of one of the beauties of it, right? Is that you.
Spec Racer Ford, calm down, Simon.
Hey, I love it. Come on, keep it going.
No.
But then there's also the fact that your bandwidth is also freed up, because typically, if anybody's been to our garage at Coda, you're always underneath somebody's car, and it's usually not our cars.
Our cars, yeah.
And then last time we didn't have you, the team still ran just fine. So if you had to be tinkering on a Boxster or a SR Rush between sessions, I think there would be plenty of bandwidth for that, man. Listen, man, I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think it's doable. No, I'll definitely chat with John about it. I think in general, it would be good to get me in a car with a full cage. So I think getting a club sport. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could find one that already has a fresh-in motor, a ton of spares to where we wouldn't have to blow a ton of money. I would still want to do it my way, make sure it has a V-Box, our radio systems, all that stuff. But yeah, it would just, the crazy part is if we get that, I would want to like mod it and put like Big Arrow on it. But then we wouldn't be able to run in series, right? So it's...
No. Listen, man, have we, besides the yellow car, have we modded or put Big Arrow on any car?
No, we haven't.
And have you exploited almost everything you can get out of those cars? So listen, brother, let's not do all that.
Okay.
Installing suspension secrets, kinetic kits for the 4RS. Oh, shout out to Love is Greater Than Hate.
Have you considered installing this?
Welcome back. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, so Suspension Secrets is a company across the pond. It seems like they've been doing a lot of research and development for the past couple of years on BMWs, Porsches. And they just released some cool stuff for the GT4, which means it's for the 4RS. What they just released was a kit that allows you to run wider wheels in the back of the 4RS, wider wheels and therefore wider tires. But we've been doing that. Like what they just did, we've been doing that for half a year or a year. So the
trade-off,
it seems like they make good stuff. I've had local shops install them, and they say, I've kind of heard mixed reviews. But it seems like they're pushing the boundaries, and I love that.
Like what? Don't leave me.
So they're pushing the boundaries on the rear. They made they
I'm
designed
talking about the mixed reviews part.
Huh?
Like what are the mixed reviews?
That their parts kind of don't install well, and then sometimes like that the recommended setups are more like street than track.
So
recommended, right? So I don't know what audience they're trying to factor, but what they just designed were these rear camber plates that have more camber than anything else in the market. We're running the Immo Cars plates, and then there also exists the Alex shop plates, which have less added camber, and then there's factory. So these are like, they're pushing the top of the shocks all the way in to like the max, to the point of where they created this contraption. I could pull it up if you guys want, but they created this contraption to probably gain us like 7/10 of a degree, and the other camber plates are gaining us 5/10. But I'm just gonna be straight, with the 5/10 of the degree that we already gain, if you put the 325 in the rear and bring the top of the wheel even further in, I feel like you're not gonna have the capacity to add rear toe to the car, or as much toe as we like to run.
You told us to skip that, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, skip that. But anyways, yeah, so they're pushing the boundaries on the stuff they're making, and I'm all in for that, but we're already there, so yeah.
So I guess you heard about them, but there isn't enough benefit for us to dive into that at this point.
I always thought it'd be cool I actually wanted to reach out to them, see if they wanted to do like a collaboration to basically like run their full kit, because it's kind of what we're talked about. Front toe arms, tension arms, rear toe arms, rear camber plates, front camber plates.
Also, instead of
kind of like a max.
piecing all that stuff together, they just give you the kit with all of it.
They give you the kit, and now this new camber plate
so I mean,
thing comes with its own shock height or spring stack height and all that. So it's like a one-stop shop, you know?
Okay, so I mean, for somebody who's getting, maybe, love is greater than hate, has a brand new 4RS and wants to do all this stuff to the car, would you recommend getting a kit like that? Or just the tried and true parts that we already use on the car is good enough? Just piece it together and deal with that little bit of a headache.
I think what we're using is good enough. Then again, like 95% of the people, like the rear camera plate is something that's been in the market only for 2-3 years. So before that, like we were just fine without that, right? So what that tells me is that 90% of the people are going to be fine without it. And I just saw that Comenda coming in with the technical specs again. So he says,
yep,
regular camber plates are about 10 millimeters or 0.8 degrees of what they add. And then the suspension secret parts is 19.5 or about 1.6. So it's literally double. Okay, no, so that's regular camber plates. So regular, so I guess the IMO cars plates are going to be somewhat closer to that 1.6. So we might be.
So I mean,
Comenda, when you say regular camera plates, are you talking about IMO cars or the Alex shop? Because the Alex shop plates definitely don't add as much as the IMO cars. We'll revisit this topic.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a pretty interesting, concept, right? Instead of having to, because you piece together all these parts from different manufacturers, and they just have one kit ready to go. MO is 10.
Yeah, MO is 10. What? Okay, so he's talking about MO being the 0.8, and then that's crazy. Yeah, that's a lot of added camber. I guarantee you they're touching the body with those new, because you bring the top in and it brings the whole thing in, and the tire moves it in. So on the GT4s, the way they have the rear body, like I guarantee you it's touching with any reasonable amount of toe. But yeah, still something that I'm excited to see hit the market and people try. It's one of those things, like I can't give people a good...
You can't give them a pass because we haven't even
Can't give them
used
a pass because we haven't been there. But
yeah,
just from what I've experienced, I can tell you they won't be able to run anything for toe. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, we have another ZL11 LE and see how they perfected the kinetics. Yeah, well.
We're working on getting that car tidied up again. That's all I can say. And then I definitely want to drive it.
So, I mean, I guess, not to give it all the way, because we do have some Camaro content coming. It may not be what some of you may know what we're talking about, but let's not spoil it in the chat just yet for those of us who don't know what happened. But there is a Camaro in the shop right now. Mm-hmm. It's getting fixed up, mm-hmm, and you guys will see very soon what we're talking about. So there may be some Camaro ZL1 content coming very, very soon. And then as soon as that car gets fixed, maybe we do a hot swap, because mm-hmm, I know Jason doesn't really like the GT4 that much.
No.
But comparatively to price, that would probably be the closest thing that we have to that Camaro.
Yeah, I think so. And Jason's been pushing me to try to drive his Camaro for a while.
And it's a manual. It's
And
not,
it's a manual,
it's
so-
not a, paddly boy.
So I've been excited, but for example, he told me to drive it at ECR, and then what happened happened. So I was happy that I didn't drive it. But yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on a Camaro because it should just be a boatload of freaking fun.
Well, what I will say is
hey,
that
a
you would've-
boatload, you get it? Because
Yeah.
it's heavy.
Well, you would have been better prepared for what happened that weekend because you were wearing a suit. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we've gotten a lot on this one. Potential, maybe we'll shove Felix into a race car and encourage him to do that. Conversation with the boss man happens. Let's see how that turns out. No promises, but if you guys would like to see Felix go out there and stop doing laps by himself and race other people, like the stream, like the video. Even if you're not live right now, like it. Listen, if we get this video a bunch of likes, then he kind of has no choice. He kind of has no choice.
It seems like already I have no choice.
Well, I mean, we have Doug, right? So we can always pro Doug, and you've driven Doug's
Doug's car,
club
yeah.
sport. So as far as knowing the differences between the two cars, yeah, that's already there. But the experience of driving, either we're gonna get it from you or we're gonna get it from Doug. And sorry, Doug, you're not as fast as Felix, so kind of a little bit dynamic there. But the racecraft is very interesting to me. It's very interesting.
Oh, for sure. But I think I could adapt well, especially because I'm already like when I'm working on some of our videos, I'm pushing pretty hard and I'm like talking people through the lap. So I think I have some capacity left, but I won't know until I'm sitting next to another car and having to see what they're doing, see what I'm gonna do, how much space do I have, and then of course TJ in my ear. So
TJ, because hey,
that's gonna be awesome.
If you haven't had TJ in the right seat, listen, don't chicken out. All right, for all of us novices out there, if you guys get a TJ Kroll as your instructor, as long as you do what he says, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah,
it's gonna
you
be
do
a
what
good
he
time.
says, and yes, he's gonna be strict, and he's gonna
be
push
stern.
you, and he's gonna be stern.
Yeah.
But
But when you do things right, he gets happy.
he gets happy, and if you start pushing back, it's not gonna go well for you.
Let's put it like this: you're either gonna put the car where he wants you to put it, or he's gonna put the car where he wants you to put it from the right seat. But
Not
that's-
dangerously, but to prove a point.
Yeah, to prove a point. But that's actually a really good suggestion there to do a DIY series for like just routine maintenance stuff. There is a video that we did when we first started the channel, just prepping the car. So there's things like bleeding your brakes is a part of that one because we did the brake fluid swap for that car.
Brake fluid
We
recommend.
didn't go into details, right? We didn't go into details on how to do every single little thing. So that's a good suggestion. We'll pocket that one. So shout out to you for
Yeah,
that. Good
we
suggestion
want to
there.
do a little bit more of that. We also want to do a V-Box install. We want to do
Yes,
how to
that's another
install
one. So-
harnesses.
Because he gets tons of calls about how to do all these things. So if we can have that information out there, which again, like we said last stream, we are revamping the site right now. So right now, if you go to it, it's more of an about you page about the team. So we're gonna have a lot of this informative stuff on there as a resource. We'll have some downloadable PDFs so that you guys can kind of take it, reference it wherever you go, depending on what you're working on. But you'll have your phone, so you can just watch the video if you're working on whatever it is. So we are going to be putting a lot of that good stuff on the website.
Yeah,
Very
and
soon.
I think I'm looking forward to the website. I think what we're planning on posting there is going to help the community a bunch.
I think so too, right? Because at this point, instead of you being on the phone for 30, 45 minutes, walking somebody through some stuff like, hey, watch this video. If you have any questions, then you can get back. So if you've ever ran into Felix at the track, I mean, obviously, we're not as well informed like myself, Alvin. Ryan is a little bit more
Ryan for
informed
sure, yeah.
than us, but he's the guy who works on the cars. He knows them front to back, side to side, so he typically has all the answers. And typically people come in there and bug him. People, hey, where's Felix? I'm like, I don't know. Look for him under a car. He's somewhere in here. You just can't see him because you're standing up. Yeah. So we're planning on putting a lot of that information there. So just stay tuned, and we'll see about that. So have you ever done any power mods, not including exhaust?
Honestly, we've done 0 power mods in our tracking career for the past 7 or 8 years. I mean, when you say exhaust, I'm just gonna say we have done headers, we keep the cats, and sometimes muffler, sometimes no muffler. So the headers will add some power, but no, we've never done, say, a plenum to increase airflow, or we've never done a tune. I just don't feel it's worth it. Like, I had a couple companies reach out to me before we were on track in September for our GT4, because the GT4 by nature runs hot because of it, the way it has its cooling, the way it's programmed. And they're like, reach out to us, we could tune the car to perform better. And then the car blew up. So I would have found myself in a big pickle there for sure with Porsche, right? Because if they scan it and they're like, okay, this engine's been working outside of its parameters, then we would have been shit out of luck with the engine. We would probably have to out of pocket it for that engine just because we decided to tune it for 5 more horsepower.
And for those of us who don't know, how much is one of the engines for one of these cars? Let's just go with the GT4 because it's the cheapest one, and then we can just assume that it's going to get exponentially more expensive as we go up the ladder.
Yeah, so I've been meaning to ask Josh for this new engine. He said we did end up getting a long block, which means it's like the whole, we have one over there. The block with the heads, obviously everything inside of it. I think they used to be like 30, 40,000. Used to be, so I'm pretty sure they're more now. Once you get like oil pan to intake with wiring, those end up getting super close to 100 grand for like the GT3 RS engines. Maybe more now.
So I guess, Simon, I mean, do you want to go do some mods and let us know what happens, you know, if it does end up blowing up?
I would stay away from them because, like, I'm just gonna use your 2RS as an example, Simon. You tune your 2RS just to get more power, right? But you don't change the coolers and all that stuff. The car is actually only gonna give you like 1 or 2 laps of glory, and then it's gonna derate even more because everything's pushed like above its, so everything's not only hot, it's extra hot because the car was working out of its parameters. So
now you're not talking about just doing something as simple as like a tune. Now you're talking about overhauling the entire cooling system.
Yeah. Which some companies will sell rear coolers for like the 2RSs. I know there's also a benefit not only like to the engine, but you could tune the PDK to where it's like more crisper on the shift.
I've heard about stuff like that, yeah.
And supposedly like that yields you more power. We have a friend who's actually in Dallas, and he loves just every car he gets is tuned. 4RS, Lamborghini, whatever it is, Cayenne.
But is he tracking it?
He's tuning, yeah, and he's tracking it too.
Shit.
And he's
I was gonna talk shit, but never mind.
He's got money like that.
Oh yeah.
He's got money like that, and I think he's his car caught on fire because he did some mods to it. So he's willing to live with a repercussion of tuning his car. That's just the madman he is, and he's literally one of those out there just trying to find every single ounce of everything. And I can commend that, but it's not a risk I'm willing to take.
And maybe this is a rabbit hole we go down for another video, right? But at what point is it that you're not extracting everything out of that car and you're just adding like that window that you're leaving of performance that you're not getting because you just don't know how to get it out of the car? Isn't that same window just going to keep going up and up because all you're doing is just adding power? And you're not extracting the rest that you're not even extracting what you could get out of the power that you're putting onto the car anyway.
I guess to a point, yeah, it can become a slippier slope, right? Because you start putting more power at the car, it's going to start going faster, so it's going to start like killing your tires sooner.
There you go. That's the mindset, Simon.
What do you say? My car is stock. I need to mod my skills. Jeez.
Hey,
I want to race. Matt, let's go racing.
No, see, that's the influence that we need right there. That's the influence that we need, Matt. We're trying to get him.
Watch what I'm going to say. Matt, if you buy a Club Sport, I'll make John buy a Club Sport.
Matt's like, don't play, because he got the itch that weekend too.
Okay, what was that Porsche that was next to us at the ECR weekend? Like, was it like a 944 that was on the trailer for sale?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a 944 listed for 10 grand. And Matt had just spent more than that in his exhaust. So, do you go racing or do you buy an exhaust, Matt? You're such a smart one, brother.
Nah. No, fuck that.
He's like, my car sounds good.
It sounds good. No, but hey, Matt, I know Matt was getting the itch that weekend too. So, hey.
Dude, my dream would be to do like a endurance race. I don't dream too often, but one of my dreams would be to like do an endurance race and participate with like a handful of our members.
Matt, Doug.
Matt, Simon, Doug, like just go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe even have different teams. I don't know. I don't
that,
know, but I think
that
would be
cool.
insane.
Hey, like up the video, y'all, because we have enough people to drive for sure. I mean, we had, and that Matt does have experience racing.
He's raced karts before. I don't know if he's gone wheel to wheel on cars, but
that's close enough.
He's definitely capable.
That's close enough. And even if we got to shove TJ in the car.
Ooh, lemons.
Ooh.
Simon, would you be in for lemons?
Dude, what do we need to do to race the Miata?
Simon, do you want a pair of new rotors or do you want a new car? Shit.
All right.
This is getting out of hand.
Now we're just shooting this shit with the guys. So listen, you've laid it down. To bring it back to the GT3 RS, the car's insane. Mm-hmm. Based on what you're saying, it doesn't look like we need to add more to it. More safety to it.
I think we will be okay.
You say that and you're just like, ah. But it's still something where if you're going to drive these cars to the limit, you might as well get at least a half cage, because the cars don't come with a half cage.
No.
You might as well get a proper helmet. Mm-hmm. You might as well get a Hans device. And just based off something that happened during that same weekend, race suits are actually becoming more and more appealing.
And honestly, that weekend I asked Matt, you using your race suit? He's like, yep, I'm using my race suit. So guess who decided to use his race suit? Me. But if Matt would have said no, I would have probably chickened out. And honestly, everything you just listed, the cage, the harnesses, the Hans device, the fireproof suit, that should be the minimum to go out on track.
Hey, I got roasted for wearing shorts in that video, so shorts and gloves.
Yeah, it's like, okay, he's gonna wear fireproof gloves, but is wearing shorts. But the gloves are for grip. I'm
worried about the grip, okay, guys? But anyway, I digress. I think, man, I guess I'm getting a suit too, y'all. Either way.
Yeah, it's honestly the bare minimum that each and every one of us should be doing before we get into a car and go at speed. Done. It's the minimum. It's the bottom line. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but Hans devices were not like really a require. Like Hans devices have been pushed to be like mandatory now for when you're in a car, right? Because now they're even using the hybrid stuff. But I think a few years back, it's like, we just use the 3-point, and now it's like.
You talking about during HPDs?
Yeah, during HPDs. Yeah, like it's been pushed real hard the last couple of years.
Yeah, because when I spoke to Austin about it, and Jeff, I'm not skipping your comment because I like that one a lot. But when I spoke to Austin about what the requirements were to just get on track, and there really isn't any requirements. You don't have to prep your car. Like obviously, high temp brake fluid is a requirement because at that point, if your brake fluid boils, you can't stop your car. You're cooked. But the fact that
your brakes.
Yeah. But the fact that there's no requirement to at least have bare minimum safety, like proper helmet and a Hans. I mean, granted, if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know if I would have bought a Hans, but it's one of those things where I feel like it's at a bare minimum necessity. But then at that point, if you're not using 6 points and you're only using the 3-point, that Hans device goes from being like what, $400 to like $1,000.
$2,000, yeah.
So now you're investing more in your safety, but like they say in the motorcycle community, $1,000 for a helmet, a proper helmet over your life, something bad happening.
Yeah.
That cost to benefit ratio is kind of like, well, sure, drop the money on it.
Then another $1,000 on a suit, and then another $1,000 on a helmet.
Yeah, no. Let's not get into how much you're wearing to go to track days, but all right, man. You got anything else for the
address Commenda?
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and address Commenda before. Listen, I think that's a great idea.
Karting, but at the full track at ECR.
At the full track, dude. Oh my God, that would be
dozen cars.
insane.
That'd be awesome.
But listen, I'm down for the karting, but everybody has to use the rental carts. Not these fancy carts that TJ got that's all hooked up and ready to go. The rental ones, the crappy ones. And I know Jeff didn't like it the last time we went there, but we all have to use the crappy ones.
That's fair.
So it's
But only the crappy ones if we can like all get out there.
yeah. Like just to make it an even playing field. Everybody gets.
Well, that's the
normal
thing.
ones.
Like the rental carts make it less of an even playing field, right? Because it's like a
they're all
gamble in
different.
which you get, but we can swap.
But then
between
it's
them. Yeah.
but then it's even more unfair if you're riding in TJ's fully set up or IRIC's fully set up
Yeah.
cart,
Yeah.
and then we can draw hats, swap
Draw numbers.
carts.
Yeah. Draw numbers. Swap. Yeah. I
Hey,
like that.
hey, if you want to see that happen, let's see that happen. What are your thoughts on the Simpson hybrid? If you want to keep 3-point seatbelt, no worry, Mike.
Mike, thanks for joining.
Yeah,
So if you want to keep the 3-point belts, I mean, I've seen some people set some flyers in 3 points, and I'm like, you're insane. And I've done it before too, and I literally feel like I've done it on the 3RS, and I feel like my neck's gonna fall off. So if you don't want to put a full cage in your car and just want to run 3 points, get the hybrid. I mean, they're built or they were invented because they work.
yeah. I mean, Ryan runs with one.
Ryan runs with one. Yeah.
Ryan runs with one, and then I think
I'm gonna have to buy one for the PCA event.
Doug has the next gen one.
The next gen, yeah.
The
I'm gonna
next
have to
gen
buy
one.
that.
So there's the next gen hybrid, and then there's the Simpson. So there's a couple different options there. So
Before we go, anybody else have any questions before we
my
bounce?
money is on Felix if y'all go karting.
Leslie.
Hey.
That's
Don't-
my sister right
Hey,
there.
listen, we're gonna sandbag him. Okay? We're not gonna make this fair at all. We're gonna put like 2 weight vests on him, make it uncomfortable, take away his little rib protector.
What you do to me, you're gonna do to TJ. So I'm game.
TJ's gonna cry about it.
Oh crap.
All right. Any last questions, guys? We're here for you guys. Well, he's here for you guys.
He's
All
here.
right.
We're here.
We're here. But any questions? If we don't get to them by the end of the stream, just feel free to DM us on Instagram at Saga Motorsports, and then eventually somebody will get back to you on those. TJ will get him 50% of the time. Hey. Last time TJ and Felix were out there duking it out, it was actually entertaining.
It was awesome.
And then somebody actually broke an axle. So it's always a fun time.
It was a good time.
But we got any last thoughts for the people? I know we kind of went on a crazy tangent this time around, but
I think we're good. When you're out on track, I know we're all working with different budgets, but just put safety, put safety ahead of everything else. TJ keeps on saying that we're up next to have a big shunt or something like that. So always keep it in mind. I mean, it's not if, it's when. You can prevent by taking care of your car and taking care of yourself and overlooking things.
and always learning too, right?
And
always learning.
Learning, paying attention. But the more and more you do it, the more likelihood of whether something small or big is going to happen. So yeah, just put safety first, and yeah, everything should be good.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today on this live show, guys. So we appreciate it. Please make sure to like the stream, share it out with the people. The video will be in the live section of our channel, so it's always going to be there for you guys to watch. And as we mentioned before, be on the lookout for the updates to the website. We're going to have tons of information there. And as usual, like it, subscribe to the channel